Codenames is awesome for ESL. It gets students thinking about vocabulary in a completely different way. They make connections they never saw before. Plus, it can be great at practicing speaking skills. I'm Will from Enchanted ESL, and in this video I'll explain what Codenames is, how to play, and how you can get the best out of it in your classes. First of all, Codenames is not for beginners. Students should be intermediate or above. If they're at the lower level of intermediate, they might struggle with this one. The box says players should be 10 or older, and I'd agree with that. Less than 10 and they're not going to get this game. Notice that the game I have is codename Pictures. The original game uses words, and you can definitely play that too. When we get stuck into the explanation, I'll show you the difference between the words and the picture games. And yes, it is a board game you have to buy. Usually it's on sale for about $20 to $30. So if you're on a budget and don't think you'll play this game enough to justify the cost, there are surely other games out there for you. For example, ones I've made on this channel. I have plenty of games, including one for advanced students that focuses on vocabulary, and it's called Call My Bluff. You can find out about it up there and in the description. Anyway, back to Codenames. You can play this game with 2 players, so you and an individual student, but it is better when you have a larger group. 4 to 8 players is best. You can definitely play with more than 8, but I wouldn't recommend going more than 12 because it will just get too confusing. The box also says it takes 15 minutes. That's about right, but if you want to play several games with everybody getting the chance to be the Spy Master, it'll take longer, up to half an hour or even more. Alright, now let's look how to play. First, you need to decide the Spy Masters. If there are 2 to 3 players, including you, there's just one Spy Master, and you're all on the same team. With 4 or more, split everyone into 2 equal teams and choose a Spy Master for each team. The Spy Masters should sit on one side of the table and everyone else on the other side. Now, randomly take 20 of the cards in the box and arrange them in a 5x4 grid. There's some pretty strange pictures, right? In the standard words version of the game, each card has a word on instead of a picture. Notice the cards are double-sided. It doesn't matter which way round you have it. And this little mark tells you it's the top left corner. Now, randomly pick a key card. Only the Spy Master should see this. They put it on the little plastic stand and orient it so only they can see it and it matches with the layout of the grid. For this example, we're just going to put it there so we can see in the camera. It doesn't matter which way up the key card is. Now each team gets a colour. If there's only one Spy Master, your team is the colour indicated by the lights on the key card. In this case, red. With 2 teams, it doesn't matter which team is which colour, but what is important is that the team whose colour is the same as the lights goes first. So in our case, the red team goes first. Next, take all of the thick agent cards and give the blue ones to the blue Spy Master and the red ones to the red Spy Master. Notice this one, which has both colours. This one goes to the team that starts first. So it'll be red for this example. If there's just one Spy Master, you'll always go first. The 4 white and the 1 black cards aren't for any team. They go in a neutral position. The aim of the Spy Master is to communicate to their team which of the pictures in the 5x4 grid match their team's colour on the key card. So for us, the red team, these cards are highlighted. And of course, the other team wants to do the same. The first team to identify all the pictures matching their colour wins. But how do they communicate? The Spy Master gives 1-word clues. The Spy Master must say a single word, and ideally that can relate to multiple pictures of their colour. For example, a good word for the red team is point. There's a point on the unicorn, there's a point on the pencil, and you could say there are some points on the arrows. The Spy Master also says a number. The number tells their team how many cards are related to that single word clue. So they'd say point 3. Now it's over to the teammates. If they're a group, they can freely talk to each other. However, the Spy Master must not speak or give any clues whatsoever with body language. That is cheating. The teammates now choose the picture cards by touching them. As soon as they touch the card, the decision is made. The Spy Master checks the key card and finds out what colour card to put on that picture. Hopefully for them, it's their team's colour, in which case they put one of their cards. If so, they can now choose another picture to put a card on. Assuming they continue to choose cards of their own colour, they can choose a number of cards equal to the number given by the spy master, in our case 3, plus 1. So they can choose a maximum of 4 picture cards on their turn. But at any time, if they're not sure, they can choose to end their turn early. Because if they get it wrong, bad things can happen. First, if they choose a picture that is blank, their turn immediately ends and the blank card goes on top of it. That's not the end of the world, but if they choose a picture that belongs to the other team, the other spy master puts their colour card on top of it and the turn immediately ends. And worst of all, if they choose the picture corresponding to the black square, they got the assassin. Their team instantly loses the game. Most of the time then, players pick a number of cards equal to the number their spy master gave in the clue. Otherwise they're shooting in the dark. But if they get one wrong, in a later round they can recuperate it by using a previous clue. If you're playing with just one spy master and everybody's on the same team, the other colour still takes a turn as if it were another team. Each turn, they get to put down one card of their colour. The spy master chooses which one and can do so strategically. The game ends when one team finds all their pictures, or the assassin strikes. Then you can switch spy masters and play again. Take back the big colour cards, grab a new key card, and flip over the 20 picture cards to reveal a whole bunch more strange pictures. And if you're done with those ones, take another 20 from the box. Thinking of using Codenames in your English class? If you're finding this video useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks. As you can probably tell, Codenames takes a little while to get used to. And it's challenging. Be patient with your students, especially the spy masters, because finding those connections between pictures can be real tough, even for native speakers. Now, a few tips to keep things going smoothly. First, the spy master keeping a straight face. As it's a competitive game, it's really easy for people to cheat by giving visual clues. Keep a good eye on this, and remind students that winning isn't the most important thing. They're here to advance their English. Second, spy masters can't change their word when they've already said one. If they do, that's essentially having a second turn, and that's not really fair. So they should make sure they're happy with their word before they say it. Third, give teammates some time to discuss their options. This is where some really great connections are made, and the meanings of different words are explored. If you're playing the original words version, a single word like run can mean so many different things. And check the valid clue rules in the instructions. There are quite a few there, like you can spell the clue, it must be about the pictures, not the location on the grid, and no accents or singing the words, etc. You might want to modify some of these rules to suit the needs of your group. A rule I introduce when playing with one single spy master and you're all on the same team is to discourage clues that only relate to one picture. Since the imaginary opposition team only gets one card per time, once you're in the lead you can just say one picture clues for the rest of the time and you'll win. And that's no fun. So I make the rule that you can't say a clue that relates to only one picture twice in a row. So if you did it on the last turn, now you have to say a clue that relates to at least 2 pictures. And a final tip if you're playing with a larger group. Consider having 2 spy masters per team. They can share ideas and come up with a single word together. If you are going to do this, I would separate the spy masters from the rest of their team by quite a physical divide, like on the other side of the room, because otherwise the teammates are going to listen in or see what the discussion is about. And that's it. If you're thinking of using Codenames, or already do in your classes, let me know your experiences in the comments below. Next up, a great game for practicing speaking is Spyfall. I think it's one of the best out there, and you can find out how to play in this video right here. But for now, I've been Will from Enchanted ESL, wishing you all the joy and success in your teaching. See ya!